Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thanks for downloading and checking us out this week. Hey, look, everybody, Drifters is back. Woo!
Yay!
You know what that means? Kevin's here. Hey, Kevin, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Welcome back. It's been a while.
It has been.
I wanted to give everyone a recap of where we left things last time.
On
Critical Hit.
On Critical Hit.
Nice. So, yeah, you guys completed the Redemption Run race by unintentionally blowing up the defenseless Umber Wyvern, the ship of the new team Rust Dragon. Hecubino and Vangi both worked as non-ship crew for them in the past, and so it was a little bit more personal for them. After a whirlwind so-called celebration and a barrage of reaction vids, you are all dazed and overwhelmed by the circumstances, predicting that your team would be the next to suffer a terrible fate on Drifters. However, you came up with a 6-point to-do list. In no particular order, go to Absalom Station and investigate Rain's apartment. Oh, by the way, Rain's dead. Talk to Talos about conspiracy theories and survival strategies. Depending on how that talk goes, talk to Talos' parents, Beth and Sven. Investigate the repairs to the Squeaky Clean done by Redshift Revolution at the Verces Skydock, because you suspect that's where that hidden missile launcher was installed. Do a data analysis project on Extreme Infosphere Productions ratings and perhaps correlate that with mysterious accidents on Drifters. And analyze sensor data from the Redemption race to see where the signal came from that triggered the firing of the fatal missile. That was all followed by a healthy cheer of "Go Team Lizard Brain." So I know this will be a big disappointment to many of our listeners, but I'm going to go ahead and hand wave one of the data analysis projects. Oh, and give you the answers right away. So the sensor data from the race, again, catching people up. Your ship, the Squeaky Clean, shot a torpedo at the new Team Rust Dragon ship, the Umber Wyvern, blowing it up. This was at the end of the race, and they were defenseless. You dug around in the guts of the ship and found that an additional missile launcher had been added during the overhaul that you guys got at Redshift Revolution, an overhaul that was paid for by Extreme Infosphere Productions and Golden Vault Productions, which is Eon Soljet's personal production company and tax shelter. I mean, everything's his personal tax shelter, but anyway. That missile launcher was remote controlled, and the remote must have been near the race area. So you were going to review the sensor data from the Squeaky Clean, maybe vid feeds, and see where the signal might have originated from. Grace has helpfully done this for you. All right, the sensor analysis is complete. It appears to have originated from within the VIP viewing area near the racetrack. The area itself, it was shielded, so I can't make out where it came from at any greater resolution? Granularity? Well, you know what I mean. And then Grace puts the list of VIP attendees, their names, on a view screen. And notables, like names you recognize from that list, include Cryptex, the android hitman from Team Electrum, and Eon Soljet, accompanied by his standard entourage. Also, the DJ from the nightclub Opulence, Omega Ego Death, was there as well.
It's got to be him.
For sure.
Or
No doubts.
The DJ?
Yes.
always the DJ.
That was always the butler.
So, with that, you are all in the galley of the Squeaky Clean. You've enumerated what all you think you need to do. And you know you're on something of a clock, as another race will be announced soon. So there's no time to waste. What do you do?
I think our priority is to investigate what happened to Rain.
I agree.
Everything else is unlikely to yield anything but additional, some additional info, but talking to Talos, we're gonna have to sort that, like sort out what is true and what's not. I don't think it's really going to be very helpful to talk to his parents. Versus is, or Redshift is a whole company, so it's going to be a thing to get in there. And we can probably do the data analysis on the Extreme Infosphere on the go, or on our way to Absalon Station.
It's possible we can figure out who murdered her, why, if she did anything to help us at all at the end.
Yeah, I mean, absolute best case scenario, worst case scenario, absolute case scenario, she actually did die of an overdose, and that was that. But
So
no,
skeptical.
given the circumstances, yes, this all stinks worse than Skittermander inside. It's gonna take me a while to get back into this, guys.
Yeah, I don't think any of us is at our top game right now.
Yeah.
What was the what's been the infosphere chatter on our race, Kevin?
Oh, well, I mean, I did give you that
Yeah.
list of reaction vids last time, and that was
Go ahead.
I'm not prepared with another dozen or so of those, but there are dozens of reactions out there. They range from it depends on how you want to view it. In general, you're viewed as heels and merciless, and it's bad, and people buy it hook, line, and sinker, and they're excited for the big race. But there's also a phenomenon where these are like little crucible moments for fandoms. And some people, they embrace being part of the extended Team Lizard Brain.
Yeah, they're like galvanized by it.
Exactly. And amongst those people, there's actually a division and a little bit of war in your chat groups and forums and stuff like that. I say the ones about you. You don't maintain them. You have no control over it. But there's some that believe you're set up, and they don't believe that you'd ever do such a terrible thing. And there's others who believe you did it and like you anyway, and they're excited to see the full heel turn, and they want to see like you guys get makeovers.
Okay.
Evil
Interesting.
makeovers with like face paint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Spikes on your armor.
Skulls.
All right. So we need to pilot where, Hekubino?
Absalon Station.
All right. I will plug in the coordinates for Absalon Station.
Great. You have a little bit of time on your hands. We can, of course, hand wave that, or it can be used productively to make inquiries, do data analysis, do chats with people if you want.
As a good pilot, can I review the flight logs to see if there were any improvements that could have been made on my side?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
There's definitely improvements you could have made.
Yeah.
That'll keep you up at nights.
Good thing I don't have to sleep. I'll review the data vids while Grace is in autopilot mode.
I mean, I'm guessing of the two of them that it was Virix that did this. I don't know how we could pin it on him.
On who?
Virix, is that the name of the assassin again?
Cryptex.
Cryptex, that's what I meant, sorry.
Like the little cipher tube thing?
Yep.
Nope, it was almost certainly him. I really doubt that
Soljet presses buttons personally.
Yeah, that Eon Soljet has his hand on any actual buttons. He just has his hands around the throats of people that hold the buttons.
Yeah.
Can you gamble on these races? Bob says from the cockpit.
Yeah, that's what Big 313 bet a bunch of against us and then on us.
And then we won, and yeah.
So we were not ranked very high to win, so that's why Big 313 got some money. Do we know who owns the big gambling establishments?
There are massive criminal cartels out there, and then there's also legal gambling. So,
do we know if Ian Soljet owns any gambling establishments?
I assume he does.
I would be surprised if him or a subsidiary doesn't
Yeah.
own a casino.
He also has
Keep in mind,
his own lottery, for his church.
yeah. So keep in mind, Ian Soljet is an arch director of the Church of Abadar, aka Abadar Corp, which is the galaxy's single largest corporation.
He's got ties to everything.
Yeah, so it just be curious to find out who the big winners were on our race on the gambling side, because that may help us narrow down some avenues, perhaps. I mean, we really have to look at who gained from our win in that way.
Well, I mean, it's all part of their messed up narrative. Like, this is all so that they can frame us as heels that then Team Electrum can defeat.
Yeah. I suppose there are places that'll give you odds, like not just Team Lizard Brain wins, but Team Lizard Brain wins by 5 points and blowing up somebody else. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how we won for the purposes of gambling. This is, like Vangi's saying, it's to set us up so they can basically blow us up, increase ratings, continue Team Electrum as the heavy favorites, and so on and so forth. I mean, that's what we think anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
One might also presume that anyone with enough pull to falsify weapons and, remote control attacks would have enough control to hide any gains they may come from gambling.
Yeah.
Or be big enough to not need to.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're making the money off the gambling in so much as they're making off the advertising.
That leads us back to the question of the ratings analysis, which you do have time to do that now, Quentin. I think you're probably the one most suited to it because of your corporate agent contacts and stuff like that.
Engaging ratings analysis mode.
All right, so you peruse. I'm wondering how many modes Quentin comes packaged with, but that one seems appropriate, very appropriate.
3,295.
I'm going to hold you to that. We're going to run
but
through
my audience measurment and analytics tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, don't go toe to toe with Matthew on stuff like that. You will both drown.
That's true. We'll both die.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I can do 3,200, whatever I said, but I'll, by gosh, try.
All right. So you peruse what ratings information is available on the infosphere and what you can gain access to yourself via your contacts. And you find that there's really good data for the first 15 seasons. And then it seems like there was a big management change about 12 years ago, and they really cracked down on what information they put out there. You know that this information exists and that you should have access to it from your kind of internal rank at Extreme Infosphere Productions. Because lest we forget, you're still technically an employee / asset.
Asset or ass hat? Because I'll be offended at one.
Whichever one is offensive to you, that's what they consider you.
Oh, that's hurtful.
After a little more digging, sure enough, you are able to pinpoint that these ratings do exist. In fact, there's a whole elaborate analytics department that exists, but it's all kept on secure servers that are kept off Sphere at Extreme Infosphere Productions at Blue Rise Tower on Absalom Station.
So to access that information, we would actually have to travel to Blue Rise Tower.
Yeah, we wanted to do that anyways, right? Because that's where we needed to put the malware on.
No, the malware has to go on Eon Soljet's computer.
Okay.
Right? That's what the Robot Abolitionist Front wants.
Yep.
Android Abolitionist Front.
Android Abolitionist. Okay.
The AAF. Or
Yeah.
No one says that.
Android Abolitionist Front.
Actually, some people do say that. It's the people whose vocal enhancements are actually old school dial-up modems, and they say,
I'm sure our listeners love that sound.
Yeah.
Top matrix printers.
Mm-hmm.
Turn
Yeah.
up,
All
turn
right.
up, turn up the sound.
So
Turn it up
yeah,
now.
Quentin, you're used to some pretty secure, like weird network configurations where things are kept behind firewalls and yada yada yada. You should be able to bypass most of that just because you're so familiar with it. But this is actually literally it's the equivalent of offline, like they're on non-networked computers, so you just can't.
It's almost as though they printed them onto, what did they call it? Paper?
Yeah. That is a relatively extreme precaution these days.
So comparatively speaking, clearly Drifters is not the only reality type, competition type, spacefaring Flibberty Gibbet. So can I find information on other shows like Acadia's Got Talent or the Phi Chi Omega Factor?
Absolutely. Yeah, this will take most of the trip back for you, but you're, I mean, assuming you don't actually care what the answers are and you're not going to like dig into them too deeply, you can get much further, and it's just a test of like how this works. You can get further down the path of the analytics for any of those shows than you can for Drifters.
What if I were to look at other genres of programming, say our scripted shows, like Querblorp's Anatomy, that surgery show?
Yeah, that's also an extreme infosphere production. Because it's the Galaxy's only real time reality amateur surgery show, and it doesn't seem to have the same productions as Drifters either. No, it doesn't have the ratings that Drifters has. It's a new and up and coming show.
So what if I look at something with the closest similar ratings that I could find, maybe like the sitcom How I Met Your Seven Creesh Mothers? Any encryption there?
That is hard. Again, that one's pretty well defended because it's very valuable. So why don't you give me a computers check?
Just verifying I am on my level 7 character sheet. Is that the correct sheet?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I had a 7 and I had something that was either a 3 or an 8, and I just, grabbed the one. Because, hey, it's Wednesday. A 26.
That is good enough. So they have excellent security, but you are even better at bypassing it. To give you a point of reference also, you're basically lowering the DC by 5 due to your contacts and industry awareness. And you barely succeed. So that indicates how good their defenses are. And yet you're still able to access them, whereas for Drifters, you just can't. So, yeah, even compared to its peers, or even arguably, I mean, like, Drifters is a very highly rated show, and it does very well, but it doesn't always top, like, How I Met Your Seven Creesh Mothers is a huge hit. It's a mega hit. So, yeah.
Among synthoids 12 to 16. It's amazing. Okay. So this doesn't feel so much like an access issue so much as a nobody gets any access issue. And they're hiding it from everyone, it seems.
Specifically Drifters.
Yep. Something nefarious is going on.
You also think that there is as I mentioned, data analytics team there. So,
a team of which I have never heard anything previously. Is this correct, or am I thinking of something different?
Yeah, they have all sorts of teams.
Okay.
It's not shocking to you that they have one, but yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
You try to look up who they are, and all of their records are sealed too.
Wow. Maybe we should pay them a visit. If I had knuckles, I would crack them. But I am a floating sphere.
You can probably access a sound file of knuckles cracking.
Oh, that's true. mp3.knucklecrack.
You could probably like multiple different species of knuckles depending on how many knuckles you want.
That's true, and it is the future, so it's probably MP53 format by now.
The whole
That's how it
SMR
works.
channel about it.
Wow.
So that is Quentin on your trip back. Does anyone else want to do anything on the trip back?
I'll talk to Quentin once he's done with that.
Mhm.
Medical checkups on all of the living adjacent members of the crew.
Oh, yeah. I will get back to you once Hecubino and Quentin have chatted, because there actually is something for me to update you on about the crew.
Amu's very concerned.
What'd you find?
The information regarding Drifter's ratings might as well not even exist. I
Are you
can't.
saying it's been deleted or it's not accessible?
It's being kept off grid. No
Hmm.
system, nearly no system, is kept off grid. I should be able to access, at the very least, basic data. There is nothing. There is an analytics team. I cannot access their identities.
Okay.
This is an unprecedented level of security.
Okay. Well, what do you think we should do? You think we should go there and see if we can plug you in directly into whatever filing system they're using?
I do. I recommend infiltration.
Okay. We can definitely try that. If nothing else, we'll probably be pretty good at creating a distraction so you can move about.
Agreed. Just remember what a wise man said about going in harm's way.
You'll have to text me the rest.
TLDR, don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's investigate Rain's apartment and neighbors and stuff first. Then we'll head over to Extreme Infosphere's HQ. Right?
Agreed.
That's where we're going. Okay.
So, a couple of things occurred to a couple of people. But first I owe Amu an answer. So you check on Squeebo. Squeebo's doing well, smiling, happy.
Still a psychotic death machine.
You know where I realized I got the concept for Squeebo?
Where?
The oozes from Dragon Warrior.
Sure.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, no, definitely. That makes sense. I thought, wasn't there like a weird vacuum cleaner in Teletubbies? Like, I thought that's where.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
I was just thinking, like, it's got the big eyes and it looks so happy, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why didn't you warn me before I Googled that? My God. You just rock me to sleep tonight.
But no, Amu, when you're checking on the rest of your crewmates, Gordo, Gordoshlin Prime, but little, that you rescued from the Space Suds cube, Gordo has grown a new moss that he wants to share with you.
Ooh, share how?
You're free to take a sample.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it Kate.
Is it anything I recognize?
I thought this would help make you all better.
Interesting. How so?
Faster. Stronger. Yeah, so if you would like to do some analysis on it.
Yes, we would.
You bust open your life sciences kit and using just your average roll is fantastic and you're under no time, so no time pressure, that is. So you can analyze it, and he's produced some sort of temporary. it boosts your immune system, your healing factor, and gives you a jolt of energy. It's temporary in its effects, but you think you could make basically some sort of injection out of this, and that injection would give stamina points as opposed to hit points.
Ooh, that seems helpful.
Yeah. So you'll have to do a little bit of research to make that actually happen. But you can do that while you're on the ship, and it doesn't stop you. Like, some of it is just long running. Oh, now I have to distill this or let this colony grow or what have you. So don't let that get in the way of participating in the adventure.
I mean, it's all covert spy stuff. Amu's not going to be participating in a lot of this anyways.
Oh, so speaking of covert spy stuff, a couple points for a couple of people. Quentin, you are confident that you can get a small group in the door at Extreme Infosphere Productions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, any of you probably could because you're all famous and could do it. But you, in particular, can get you past like the first several doors because you have clearance to be there, and you're higher ranked than a lot of the average office drones.
Literally.
Yep. So now, clearly, you're not allowed to go raid the secret data analysis cache that's kept off Sphere, but you can get probably a small group much closer than anyone else. It might be harder if you had a lot, like a large group is going to draw a lot of attention, which might make your job easier. It might make it harder. Similarly, Skritic, the same thing kind of occurs to you. When you're thinking of getting into Rain's apartment, and something about your ears perk back, and you get that like sensation of being watched, even though you're not being watched. It's just it happens sometimes when you're mentally thinking things through, and you're like, oh wait, we could be watched. Oh yeah, maybe a big group of us all going into her apartment will be definitely noticed.
I see. Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to put forth the idea of a solo excursion to the apartment. See if I can't slip in unnoticed.
You might be able to even guide a small group, but again, a big group, 6 people, that's a lot. You and 1 or 2 others, you think you can, the way I'm running stealth, you can kind of help some of the other people, but it's harder to help 5 people than it is to help 1 or 2.
Okay.
So.
And we're
For those of you listening at home, Kevin is urging us to split the party. The easier to kill us.
Tick, tick, tick.
What? Why would Kevin kill us?
Why, indeed.
Same reason the man climbs a mountain. All right, so Skritic had that secret thought to its secret self. Are we like abstracting things to the point that we could have multiple conversations, or do we need to like seek him out?
No, you guys are all in the galley.
Okay.
And Skritic just said maybe I'll do it solo, and then I gave him a little bit more information, and you guys can all chat.
It's certainly weird that Drifters is such a state secret. I mean, it's a popular show. Like, why wouldn't they want everyone to know how popular it is?
Unless it's not.
But
or unless the actual way that it has become popular and the way they maintain the popularity is possibly illegal, at the very least unethical.
yeah, well, that certainly seems to be true.
There's also a kind of a weird corner possibility that Drifters is like part of something else, like, I don't know, some kind of like long play type ritual
Oh, jeez.
And
So only so many people have to be killed to do something.
maybe, I mean, pretty much the heads of all of these companies are gods. So
Yeah, that'd be a thing. I'm not especially
Why
stealthy,
would
so
God?
I'm not really sure what team I should go with. I'm thinking of maybe trying to do a dive into Cryptix's social media, see if we can maybe figure out where he was when other, say, accidents or bad stuff happened.
Actually,
so
your high profile might be a benefit
Oh,
for a certain type
yeah,
of
I could
infiltration in that you could provide
distraction.
important distraction.
I'm happy to make a distraction.
Hmm.
so Skritic, you want to take a small team to Reigns?
Yeah, I definitely am concerned that the whole group of us going in is going to be noticed, and
Quentin, you want to take a small team into Extreme Infosphere?
Yes, I share his questions regarding the usefulness of a larger grouping.
Okay.
I th-
Bang, if it's okay with you, I hereby dub you guys temporary co-captains. Pick teams.
rock, paper, scissors.
You guys flip for it.
All right.
Flip for first pick.
Yeah, so we'll you guys can rock, paper, scissors, or flip, but we will resolve that by rolling a die, specifically a d20 in roll 20. So Skritic and Quentin, just say Brian and Matthew, roll a d20. I really want to see Quentin throw rock, paper, scissors. It's just shooting out one of his hands. It's literally like,
No, it's actually literally the scissors.
oh my goodness. So you guys tie like 3 times in rock, paper, scissors.
Fantastic.
That tracks.
All right.
Because
I'm gonna try
I'm
that
using
again.
literal scissors and I don't have any paper.
Freaking specialist characters, am I right? Like pick a lane.
Now I have rolled a 12.
It's better than hasn't rolled again. There
17.
we go.
He decided to draw straws, and his straws were more believable. I used charcoal, which made mine a lot more abstract.
Skritix is just a circle, and he says, for drinks.
Yeah. Classic.
All right. So, then Skritic, pick your first teammate.
I think I'm going to go with Hecubino.
All right. I like
Quentin.
Hecubino stands up and goes over and sits next to Skritic.
For dramatic purposes, one must always break up dream teams. Thus, I shall choose Vengi.
All right, cool. It's gonna be really sad if I got picked last. That's never happened to me before.
Not to foreshadow that someone is going to be picked last here in a moment.
Hi.
Well,
One team's going to regret not having the medic.
yeah, I think we're going to need the medic to possibly...
That's true. Do some CSI stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I'm going to pick Amu for my next potential forensic analysis.
Whereas Bob's skills with a computer may be very useful to us. So I will choose Bob. Not
Yay,
last,
I'm on a team.
but in, the similar position near the end of the back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys have your bands, and look at that. There's Absalom Station. It's so close.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, we're going to dock.
All right.
Do they have a special docking port for Stars of Drifters?
They really should. Yeah, there's Rich People Dock.
All right, we'll park there.
Great. They charge you an absurd amount and are obsequious.
Good
But-
thing this is all tax deductible. Am I right?
I don't think that's true.
I hope you're right. I don't know if you are.
When you say that getting off the ship, some of the attendants who are dressed much more fancily than you guys are look at you askance and are like, oh, You pay taxes? Oh, how common. You really should get a better accountant.
Okay.
So, you guys split up. One team is going to Rain's apartment, and the other team is going to Extreme Infosphere Productions. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When,
Rock, paper, scissors to see who goes where.
yeah, when we no. Yeah, when we basically once we're all out and we're getting ready to split up, I'll say, all right, everybody in, 1, 2, 3, go team Roborat.
Good one.
Nice.
All right, go.
Yes, because you guys are. This refreshes both Skritic and Quentin's memory that they are temporary, honorary team co-captains,
Ooh.
and so that's an amount of power that you could easily abuse.
Oh, absolutely. This should be. I mean, no, certainly I would never do such a thing.
I expect that, like, my expectation would be that Skritic would abuse that, but like in very non-useful ways, like just anytime we go buy food, he just instructs me to put more in my pockets. Get to him later.
Oh,
Pick that up. Pick that up. No. The sauce first, then pick that up. Yeah.
Great. So you are on Absalom Station. We've described it before, but it is still a marvelous mechanical mecca of mercantilism. It's got people from around the galaxy, around the Pack World system, and just, everything. There's a lot going on, but it's hard for you guys to pay much attention to. You can't step back and like be like, the wonder of civilization when you're on a mission, and it also feels like someone could be out to get you, which
Yeah.
I've got to imagine you still have that kind of lingering feeling after your recent brush with death.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. I mean,
So in that case, it feels more like a big, cold, uncaring city where people are brushing up against you and you can't tell who's watching you.
Philip Chandler narration mode activated. There are 13 billion stories in the Naked City and only 12 billion people. Somebody's lying.
So when do I make a distraction?
All right, let's go to
Like Bangy walking around with like 2 pans, like just so ready, like just bristling.
Our subgroup shall be identified as Team Heavy Metal. Vangie is the heavy, and we are the metal.
One-way ticket to midnight.
Indeed. I recommend calling your team Rockin' Rodent, as Amu looks like a rock, and you look like a hamster.
Also Hecubino.
Yeah, right. I was trying to come up with a
Yeah,
way to
And
fit in
also
there.
Hecubino on drums,
And the rest.
and a very special appearance by Hecubino.
Yes.
All right. So you let's go with Team Skritic to begin with. You guys approach Rain's flat, specifically like her apartment building, and Skritic, since you're kind of taking point on this, why don't you tell me what precautions or your method of approach and entry?
Well, for the most part, I'm going to be first on the lookout for any sort of surveillance, either guards or security systems that seem to be apparent around the building, and I kind of considering seeing if there's perhaps some sort of basement access that would also have access to the sewer system so that we could sneak Amu into the building. So if I can convince Amu to go into the sewer and see if there's something that looks like that'll connect up there.
That doesn't sound particularly sanitary.
No, but you don't know what sort of organisms are down in the sewer.
We're in.
Yeah, who knows what kind of friends we can make.
I demand to come out with a
Gator
crocodile.
Yes. I think I'll, task Hecubino to keep an eye out for any psychic
Or
Crocodile.
magical.
probings. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, before we get too close, Hecubino's going to disguise his appearance.
Good call.
Ooh. How do you do that?
With the power of my brain. I'll use disguise self.
Nice. What does Hecubino look like?
Probably Hecubino will have taken note of current fashions and try to make himself basically have an inconspicuous coat and hat and probably brown hair and not very standouty face. He's really hoping that people will be thrown off by the fact that he has hair, and they'll be like, "That couldn't be Hecubino. He doesn't have hair."
All right. Sounds good. Why don't Skrick, why don't you give me a perception check? Hecubino, why don't you give me a disguise check with the modifier from the spell?
Yep.
And Amu, are you going to investigate the sewers?
Yeah, we'll head down to the sewers.
Okay, I think that might be, I guess, a survival check.
Oh shoot! I should have went to the
Uh-oh.
sewers.
Yeah. Additionally, Amu's actually not going to have the heavy armor as per normal. Or unlike normal, since I don't think the heavy armor would work for what we're going for.
All right, so
Well,
based off
I mean,
the-
Skritic is specifically trying to find a path through which you don't have to sneak, right? That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should probably just wear your best gear and.
Okay.
because
I
that's
was going to
what
let the
Skritic is doing.
defenseless medic go along with you, but
Yeah, that's what and that's why I'm jumping in to prevent that.
So survival?
okay. So
Oh no.
Hecubino, you've got a quite solid disguise. Someone who knows you could recognize some of maybe how you smile, your eyes. You can't quite change. There are some telltale things. Your hair is too wavy and too good.
Yeah.
But it would certainly bypass any casual observer for sure.
Okay.
Skritic, you are just perceptive enough to think that you failed a perception check.
Oh no.
You're you see shadows or hear something and then you turn and no one's there. It could be that there's nothing, but you don't think there's nothing. You think there's something and you just didn't get it. Amu, you make a friend in the sewer. It is a sentient, floating refuse crocodile.
Yeah.
And it wants to be your friend, and because it's been alone its whole existence, which it doesn't know, how long it's been alive. But as you take it to its surface, it starts to dissolve in your hands, and it telepathically communicates to you, "Oh no, I can only live in the sewer. I'm destined to live alone. But thank you, because of you, I got to see the sun." And then it dissipates into the refuse of the sewer.
So you went back and listened to the old episode and you're like, man, I'm really mean. I should still be really mean.
Why would you do this?
Well, that was you rolled a 10. You got nothing.
I rolled average.
But you don't have a survival modifier. You're bad at this.
Amu has somehow not a negative wisdom.
I sometimes think of Amu as wise, but that's not true. He's just smart. He's not particularly wise.
Yeah. They gullible.
All right. So after that mild trauma, Skritic, it's back to you to determine. Actually, you know what? We're gonna leave you guys there with Skritic jumping at shadows, with a disguised Hecubino and a mildly traumatized Amu, and we're gonna cut over to Team Heavy Metal.
Heavy metal.
Quentin, you're at Blue Rise Tower. You guys are going up the elevator, which I assume is the first time you stop to think of and talk about what the plan is.
That sounds like
plan?
It definitely sounds like us. Well, first, my plan is to flood all of the visual systems in the building with the special announcement of a Drifters autograph session with Team Co-Captain Vangi, the baddest of the bad, the coolest of the cool, the lizard with the wizard, other things that rhyme. And it's going to be held in an area that is totally not really, really easy to walk away from and get to the place where we're needing to break into in the tower or access.
And you're flooding that on social media, on the infosphere?
I'm going to put it on social media, but moreover, as you walk into any of these buildings, you're clearly going to see visual displays. Hello, welcome to Extreme Infosphere Productions. For human resources, turn left. For inhuman resources, turn right. For artificial resources, turn up.
I've got the famous fighter theme.
Sorry, turn up for what?
No, turn down for what? Turn up for artificial resources. Stay with me here.
Good. I'm glad you got that. I appreciate it.
That's why I'm here.
Oh, drifters.
Drifters. And in so doing, I'm going to make sure that it does not have a Quentin encryption key attached to it, but a literal encryption key for KarenBot 14,000 downstairs in the what do you call it? The marketing area.
PR.
We don't have a mezzanine. It's right above the terrace, I think.
You guys have 42 floors, not counting the mezzanine.
What is a mezzanine? Even I don't know what a mezzanine is, and I can literally look it up with my brain. Okay, so we are going.
That's what you're doing.
To do this. Yes.
Vangi and Bob, what are you guys doing?
Well, I have the what's it called, background famous fighter, so I actually have a whole thing where people do like want to arm wrestle contest with me and like buy me drinks and stuff like that. So I'll try to help him out by putting it out on my own little social feed and like mugging for people who walk by.
Yep. Do your best, Fangs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've got a custom rig. Can I, like, moments before, like, we step into an elevator or something, I hack into the camera in the elevator, create a quick 5-second loop, and then transmit the 5-second loop of what was in the elevator as we're in it, so that to any security system we look invisible?
Yes.
Oh,
so
snap. Smart.
Why don't you give me a computers check? Vangi, why don't you give me an intimidate check? That's actually like one of the positive intimidate checks. And then why don't you give me a culture check?
Culture? Huh.
Is my
culture higher than my bluff? Oh, no. It feels like a bluff.
I'd let you give it a bluff check. If you think bluff is more appropriate, that's fine. I'd allow that.
Yeah, it feels bluffy, plus I'm better at that.
Oof.
All right. That's okay. So, the good news is your team is helping you out, Quentin. So you're able to you're even your pretty mediocre bluff is not bad. It's still totally decent. And it turns out Vangie has a whole network that she can call on of weird arm wrestling obsessed thugs will just show up places, which, they bring their own beer and arm wrestling tables.
Yes.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
And
They'll actually know them by their signature cry of "Snap into a Slim Jim!" Oh yeah!
It's like they also bring their own saloon doors and
and
like wherever it is, it just
and...
turns into a biker bar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sylvester Stallone is there for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to win his son back.
Yeah, using your wireless connection and custom rig, you can hack into the local security, which doesn't seem. I mean, it seems good, but not incredibly good. You're able to bypass it and set up that loop, and you have at least the basic access level to be able to do similar such things while you're going around.
Nice.
So that helps create a distraction and throw off, normally people should expect you when the elevator opens and stuff like that. Instead, they're under a barrage of random images broadcast by Quentin's Karen social feed and want to be gladiator, wrestler, biker, intergalactic bikers from Vangie's feed, and none of them register as even being there due to you. Yeah, Quentin, you're able to bypass the first couple levels of extreme infosphere bureaucracy security by scanning your badge and making the correct noises and basically letting your teammates do some of the heavy lifting here for you. The tricky part is once you get past the lobby and stuff like that, they do start controlling the area. So is everybody going along with you, or is somebody trying to stay behind and create a distraction?
I'm definitely staying behind and creating the distraction. I think that was my whole plan because I'm not stealthy and am extremely distracting.
So Vangie is going to create as big a distraction as she can, especially with all of her friends. And that doesn't necessarily have to be something that would engage the security teams, but it doesn't not have to be something that might engage the security teams. And I believe that Bob's sneakiness would mean that, a couple of cool androids just walking down the hall, one, who looks like Bob and one who looks like a sphere. I don't think anybody's going to blink twice.
Yeah, but Bob's wearing a business suit to try to blend into the other techno executives on this floor.
Are you still wearing your beret?
Of course.
And he's wearing the business suit over his coverall.
It's a business beret. Come on. That's how you know I'm all business.
I really feel like that we might have addressed.
You just I imagine just Quentin just tossing a few, pins on the beret that are in extreme infosphere. So now it just looks ironic. It's oh yeah, I was at Android Burning Man this weekend. Now I'm back to my corporate job.
I totally met Dan Cartez 5000.
Vangie, what kind of distraction are you what do you do?
I'm just gonna talk up with try to make as raucous a situation as possible, having various physical challenges and telling stories and it's yeah, how long can you hold plank? All right, let's all hold plank at the same time. Oh, look, someone else is here. I bet they need to get involved in this. Dude, bro, do you even lift?
All right.
Orc Bro, do you even lift?
Why don't you give me a bluff check?
Because I'm very bad at that. I make you an athletics check by just being impressively athletic.
Sure, but I still need the bluff check.
It's an athletic bluff.
Okay.
A bluffletic, if you will.
Well,
because the measure of success here isn't how well you actually lift things; it's how well you distract.
Well,
everyone.
I've got a 10 on the bluff check.
All right,
and let me see, 31 on the athletics check.
Okay, now Quentin, is there some ability that that you have that can assist?
Oh, there are many abilities what I have which might assist. In fact, as we were speaking, I said to myself, Self, perhaps you should look at your things that you have on your thing.
Like an
my
improvisation.
inspiring boost. No, that's different. That's a Healy thing.
Well, you peruse, but you're able to at least very fervently throw yourself into it, and a lot of your Vangi and a lot of your fans do help. It immediately starts to people are looking at you very strangely, the corporate people, and sure enough, Crystal Wiles approaches. So I'm going to need bluff checks from both Quentin and Bob to stay under her radar.
My bluff check is going to be a hologram.
Woo!
I rolled a nat 20.
Beautiful.
Nice.
My hologram is going to be hiding behind Bob.
He got a nat 20, and the score was 21.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Don't call
We're not
him
a
out
particularly
like that.
likable bunch.
I'll have you know I'm extremely likable. I got a 30.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pay no mind to me. I'm a hedge.
Yeah, so how do you guys both blend in real quick? Doesn't have to be too elaborate.
I mean, I just pick up a bunch of reports that are sitting on a filing cabinet and just kind of hold them up in front of my face.
You have somehow internalized what business Android is supposed to do and look like and be completely overlooked.
Yes.
Important reports. I better file these or demand that they be filed again or something.
Yes, I nod my head and I need to collate a lot of things.
Business. Money.
He created a program that removes the frog out of the Jabobnan subroutines.
Great. So with that, you are able to get access to the hidden servers. There's a secret server room that you guys can kind of dart past. The regular locks don't match up with, say, Bob's mechanical skills. So, like, you can just bypass them. But in there, you see there's stacks of servers, like racks and racks of them. And then there's a team of about a dozen who don't bother to look up when you enter. They're all plugged into their computers, literally. They're not necessarily androids. They just have extensive cybernetics and augmented reality gear that let them do a truly absurd amount of magical analysis. They're just like throwing up weird holograms and projections and using, they're creating models based off of all these sorts of different events within drifters. You can't. It takes a lot just to follow what they're doing when observing, and it occurs to you that Vangi can probably only buy you a limited amount of time. So it's probably best to get into the server.
All right. Is there a data jack that we can plug into?
Yes.
All right. I'll plug in and
Nope, you don't have access.
Oh, I don't have access, Quentin. Maybe you need to plug in.
Is it a quarter inch or a half inch?
USB,
Never mind. I get out my
USB-Z.
adapter. I don't use USB-C.
You have to flip it. You have to flip
Everything's
it around.
a zip drive.
It doesn't
these
go.
days.
If it doesn't go in, you have to flip it.
It's all zip drives. It's all plastics. All right. Yes, I shall plug in using my USB Theta device.
Now, Bob, you can basically tap that connection and wirelessly, or like help Quentin access stuff.
Yeah.
But it does need to. It's doing an actual SIM card connection where it can tell like that Matthew is an approved device or that Quentin is an approved device.
How dare you, sir? I've never been approved in my life for anything.
So do I need to
Make a computer
his...
check just to help, and
Okay.
So you're assisting basically.
All right, I'll assist with a 32.
Ooh, that's very good.
Jumping fish hooks.
Quentin, why don't you give me a computer check as well?
Well, because now it's going to look silly after he just got a 36 right off the top of his head. I mean,
32. But
I can't roll a 32. I could nat 20 and only get a 31, but I did get a 28, so that's pretty solid.
Very good. And with that assistance, that's up about 30. So you immediately start downloading it. And wait a minute. All right. When you've got it's starting to become accessible to as you're downloading the programs, you should be able to access it. You need an update patch.
Oh,
you know how you're a corporate agent and you need to have that like your new benefits to gain access to this. Yeah, you need to download an update patch. Fortunately, you can do that here as well.
I need Windows 357. Okay.
It is going to mean Vangie has to stall for a little longer. So we're going to cut back to Vangie.
Boy.
Crystal Wiles approaches, and she's paying attention to you for the first time ever. What are you doing here?
Oh, brand building. Working on helping up with the fans. Figured, we could encourage them to get more into the show, and we're better than, here. It's gonna produce just real...
There are 1,000 better locations than here. In fact, you should all be on our brand awareness location package. Do you not know where to shoot your videos?
No, could you get that for me? I would love to have that info.
Your computer, your floating orb drone should have informed you of that. Where's your liaison?
He's got to be around here somewhere. Guys, have you guys seen a floating orb drone? Like, it looks like a basketball, like, or a medicine ball. Like, you can totally chuck it around.
Well, so that sounds like Vangie rolling a nat 1 on her bluff as she's literally directing everyone to look for her hiding companions.
Well, because that's, I suppose, fair. I guess I was just mostly trying to create a, distraction and get everyone excited about something.
Yeah, get
else.
Everybody moving and pushing around.
Exactly. Because he's not in this room. So, I was just trying to, get everyone in this room.
So you're trying to rile them up?
Yes, exactly.
It occurs to you that none of them care about Quentin at all.
Fair enough.
Hey!
So she'll just...
I'm right here.
So she'll just...
No, you're not. You're in another room.
They're Vangie stands.
Yeah, so she'll actually say, you know what? Crystal, you gotta really should take that up with Quentin. I got my own fans here, and I gotta really work this room. Come on, guys, let's do some crunches. We're gonna actually turn this into a free workout session. Let's all get swole together.
Yeah, let's get swole.
Skip leg day.
Never skip leg day.
Yeah, especially not you, guy with 17 legs.
Oh, man.
I don't even have legs, and I know that.
All right, give me what kind of check do you want to make there? It's whether Crystal can tell something's up. It's got to be a bluff. I'm sorry. You're just lying. Just lying.
You can do it, Sam.
I have
You can do
minus
it.
1 to this roll.
Why do I
Nope.
why do I feel that we sent the wrong co-captain on each of these missions, and there's going to be like extensive lifting
Yeah, right.
necessary in the next one?
Yeah, that's fair. And like, there's gonna be like a psychic ward and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have
All right. So Crystal turns and starts looking around. It's like, where is the rest of your team? And she goes stalking off in the direction of Quentin and Bob.
How's my patch?
Downloading.
82%.
Come on, man. Hurry up.
83%.
Hurry up.
83%.
Bob, you can see
83.5%.
no, it's stuck at 99%. It's somehow at 99%, but it's been at 99% for a while.
99%.
The wheel is just spinning.
99%.
Bob, the door opens and Crystal Wiles is there.
I pick up a folder and pretend to do business.
You two.
Hey, hi, Crystal.
Quentin.
Hello.
Quentin, you can disconnect from the server. What are you doing here?
He needed a patch.
My systems were not up to date with the most access.
It's not done yet.
Accessibility.
All right. So, Quentin, you've just finished downloading, and now the patch has been activated. So you've got all of the processing capabilities, and you think you can make your way out of here.
Okay, Crystal, here's what I need you to do. I need you to make sure that whoever is running this clown show knows that my software needs to be up to date. And if you're going to insist on constantly messing with all of the servers and constantly trying to be on the bleeding edge of nothing, that you make sure that the people who actually have to move the data know what it is and where it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a VESC to pick up, and I do not have time for your passive-aggressive nonsense. Bob, shall we?
Nice to see you again, Crystal.
Yeah, and Crystal stares agape at you as you manage to talk your way out of that.
I swear I have wanted to say that for 753 days, 12 hours, 2 minutes, and 92 seconds.
A little harsh, don't you think?
Honestly, at this point, I don't. I feel like whatever is going on around here, whatever madness, whatever... Obviously, one cannot attribute to malice what is clearly attributable to stupidity, but in her case... I'm going to make an exception. I'll even portmanteau it as stupadness.
See, here he is.
If I wanted
like
to
a
send him,
medicine ball, come on, we can play cards with him.
I send Quentin a file. Who moved my spacecheese.exe?
I delete it and I send it back. Bengi.
Yeah.
Chop. Let's go.
All right.
Those aren't actually hands, but something just made a clapping noise.
It's over, guys. Like and subscribe. We'll let you know the next time we do a exciting pop-up workout.
And remember, Team Lizard Brain and or Team Stainless Steel Rat is your go-to for evil. Wah! Little holographic Nixon face to try and get the people pumped.
Yeah, he actually appears quite scary. Quentin does.
Yeah.
Stainless Steel Rat definitely copyrighted, though.
Oh,
all right.
crap.
Will,
like Lizard Brain isn't. Oh, yeah, probably isn't.
We will cut back to Team Critic. So you have cased the joint, and you think you could be being watched, but there's no good sewer entrance, so how are you getting in?
I don't know.
Front door, back door, side
How
door?
tall is the building?
43 stories, counting the mezzanine.
Can I just say that it's like what media should we get into to plug into drifters? Like some cyberpunk stuff, some like Blade Runner, like some space opera stuff. It's like, no, what's the Hudsucker proxy? Like if you want the manual for this game, that's what you need to be watching.
In Futurama.
Yeah. Yeah, let's find a side door. Well, I mean, it's up to Critic, but
Well, yeah, I was gonna largely suggest Hecubino just go from the front, act like maybe just trying to get to someone else's apartment.
Okay.
And go ahead and have Amu get in the back, since apparently we weren't able to go from below.
Hecubino will do that thing of like being on his communicator and being like, yeah, no, yeah, I'll get it tomorrow. Yeah, I promise I'll get it tomorrow. And then when somebody walks by to get into the building, we'll just be like, and like hang up and like walk in behind them.
Nice. Yep. Nope. That just works without a second. No one stops you. They clearly look at you like, we're not supposed to do that, but then they feel the intense social shame of being able to speak to a stranger, and they just don't.
Okay.
And yeah, from there you can let them in the back door, which is locked.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. Do you take the elevator to Rain's floor, or you can take the stairs?
Can we talk about this building? How fancy is it? Is it like?
Yeah, so it's surprising. It's like a decent condo building. It's in a good area of Absalom Station, but it's not a super rich building. It's not run down, and it's not, but it seems almost blank and devoid of much character,
Personality.
Yep.
Okay. I'll point, or I'll kind of motion towards the ceiling. I was like, what do you think the security situation here is, Skritic? Do you think they actually employ somebody to look at it, or you think it's just like a recording that they check later if there's a break-in?
Would I be able to roll to see what I feel on that, or?
Sure. Let's see. What do you think is like a good skill for crime?
I guess they don't have
that's right. There's no like real crime skill,
like thievery or larceny.
Yeah, there
really
isn't. It's surprising.
What about profession? Call center manager. That would be.
I'll say that this is like kind of an intelligence stealth. So go ahead and make a stealth check.
Okay.
In other games.
Oh no!
You're very bad at this.
That one.
You feel intense paranoia here. You feel like you're constantly being watched and everything's being observed in real time.
Yeah, I think we're being watched, man. I don't know. I think maybe we should just bail on this.
Whoa. Come on. You're temporary honorary team co-captain right now. You need to keep a clear head. So, okay, you think we're being watched? We're probably on a clock then. Let's go. Instead of trying to sneak around, let's just go straight there, break in, and start checking it out.
All right. Let's go. Amu, come on. Let's move.
Wait, we're breaking in?
We might.
Okay.
So you guys take the quickest route, which is the elevator, and you have Rain's flat number. And sure enough, there's police holographic barriers over the door that will probably trigger some sort of alarm when you bypass them, unless they're disabled or you just don't care.
Right. Skrig, you think you can turn these off?
I can take a crack at it.
Yeah.
Let's say an engineering check. Engineering or computers? Engineering, I think, though.
I would say.
These are like little physical devices.
27?
Yeah, that's certainly good enough.
All right.
You just
Okay.
you just angle them differently. So now they're projecting up onto the ceiling.
All right. I think we should be able to move around them here.
Yeah.
Try the door.
Unlocked.
Let's get in.
All right. You guys all scramble in. It's the lights aren't on, but you see Rain's flat, and it's actually relatively I mean it's in incredible disarray, and stuff is strewn about, which we'll get to in a moment, but it's sort of small, and it feels intensely, I guess, lonely, as if certainly only one person lived here, and that there wasn't much to their life except for all this crap that's been strewn about. So, scattered in the debris, you see a bunch of infofiche holograms that were sent as annoying collections notices. You see some empty intoxicant bottles, clothing that's been strewn about, and it definitely looks like the place was either tossed or given that appearance. Like either somebody ransacked it, or maybe someone was living in here in a state of intense despair for some time. One thing you see of note are some boxes that have these old they're not quite paper, they're not quite cardboard, and they have little images on them. They're maybe, 6 inches by 3 inches, something like that.
6 by 3.
Or 4 inches, something like that.
What are the images of?
They're of different places, like galaxies and planets and little sites. And then as you turn them over, they have handwriting on them. Not computer printing, handwriting. Like that someone must have made, I don't know, with like their fingers? Ink?
Some sort of etching device?
Yeah. Maybe a laser. Maybe they carved it in with a laser.
Oh,
you don't see any scorch marks.
It's like an artisanal email.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to spend some time detecting magic, and then I'll probably try and get into the postcards.
Great. And as you start detecting magic, you feel a presence from the other room. Not the living room, but just down the hall.
Like an alive presence?
Well, a magical presence.
A magical presence. Hecubino's hand immediately goes up. Stop what you're doing kind of thing. And points
out
at
of the
other
shadows comes a four-armed Kasatha with a veil over their face of deep purple, dressed in battle armor and holding 4 laser pistols at you. And it whispers, "Stop what you're doing."
Ooh, sounds like a good place to stop this week's episode of Critical Hit. Thank you, everybody, for downloading and checking us out this week. Oh, who's going to live? Who will survive? Go back next week and find out. I'm sure it'll be A-okay. Everyone will be perfectly safe. Or we hope that they all roll critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2022 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.